Hey everyone, OutdoorVector here. I decided today to do a little experiment, just more for my own curiosity more than anything else. I've always kind of wondered, how do these two stoves, how are they going to stack up against each other? I've got here the Solo Stove Lite, and then also my reliable Jetboil Flash that I've been using for quite some time, backpacking and camping. And so you might think it's kind of crazy, but I'm going to do a little test here and see how they compare in boil times, and then also how they compare just kind of side by side. If I just put the same amount of water in each, how long it's going to take to boil, and then just have both of them work right next to each other. To me, I think it's probably going to be the Jetboil Flash is still going to be the fastest boil time. Just because I've used it so many times and it's been really quick. But, you know, in the Solo Stove, it's got its own pros and cons because it's using just twigs as fuel. You don't have to get a fuel canister for it, right? Also, the Solo Stove Lite comes with an alcohol burner, which is what I'm going to actually use today. It's kind of wet right here, right now. I don't even have too many dry twigs around, so I'm going to go ahead and use the alcohol burner on the Solo Stove Lite, and we'll see how it stacks up against the Jetboil Flash. So as you can see here, the Jetboil Flash really bundles up into itself really nicely, right? I mean, I can take off this lid here, right? Take off this bottom, which is a little koozie for the bottom of the stove, but then also doubles as a measuring cup or a bowl if you want to use it as that too. The Jetboil Flash, you can take out the burner right from inside, it nests in there. And also you can put a fuel canister in there. This is the small size fuel canister that fits right in here as well. And it also comes with a stove attachment, which I'm not going to be using that one today. And then also a little plastic foot tool for your fuel canister. So let's put everything together. That fuel canister just snaps in there like that, right? Your stove, little switch flips out. You'll screw in your stove to your fuel canister, and then take your pot part of the stove, and it goes in like that, and there you go. Your Jetboil Flash is pretty much set up. You just fill it with water and then cover it with the lid, and off you go trying to boil water. Now let's take a look at the Solo Stove Lite. Comes in this nice little nested bag, right? For the Solo Stove Lite, I also bought this custom pot that comes with it. It's a 900 milliliter custom pot. Right? And the stove itself actually nests right into this 900 ml pot as well, which is kind of cool. And you can see on the inside of this pot, you've got your measurement markings here. So up here, the largest marking is 30 ounces, and then on the other scale, it goes up to 0.8 ounces. Oh, sorry, 0.8 mLs, or 0.8 liters, or 800 milliliters, since the pot itself is 900 milliliters. This again is a stove now. Comes also in its own little nesting bag. There. All right, and then I've also, for this Solo Stove, I got this optional alcohol burner that fits really nicely right inside of it. Right. This alcohol burner, and then this little fire ring sits on top of your stove. And there you go. There's the Solo Stove Lite. And I've already kind of did another video on the Solo Stove Lite itself, and you'll see a link up in the upper right-hand corner there if you want to check that out. But like I said, today I'm going to use this alcohol burner that comes with it, so I'm going to stick that in there. Before I do that, I'll open this up. See, it's got a little screw top here, and in here is an alcohol reservoir where you can actually put in alcohol and The lid is pretty nice too, since it's got this little rubber gasket on the inside of the lid, so you can just store alcohol in here as your fuel as well. So we'll take that lid off, put this alcohol burner in there, put the fire ring back on, and there you go. You're set up for your Solo Stove Lite to start boiling water. So in each of these, I'm going to boil up right around 600 milliliters of water, which is just above 2.5 cups. The reason why I chose 2.5 cups or 600 milliliters is because most of the dehydrated freeze-dried meals that I've used really call for around 2 to 2.5 cups of hot water or boiling water. So that's what we'll use, is 600 mLs. Milliliters in here as well. And you can see right there inside the pot, actually it went right up to the 0.6 mark there. All right, let's get to boiling. I'm gonna try to do this to where I ignite both of them just at the same time. And timer started. You'll notice here on the Jetboil that it has this color changing temperature gauge. You can use this to kind of help you estimate, how hot it is inside there with the liquid. But usually I've found that even though this gauge is here, the color will fill up all the way to the top and it won't be quite boiling yet. But right soon after that, the water will be boiling. And if I open this up, it's boiling. So we're at 346 is what it took me to boil this water here in the Jetboil Flash. Solo Stove Lite, still burning here. And it doesn't sound like anything is boiling quite yet in there, so I'm not gonna open the lid up. All right, we got a pretty big flame going here on the Solo Stove. And now I'm seeing quite a bit of steam up here. So let's give it a look. Yep, that's a boil. That's a boil. Let me stop the timer. Stopped. And let's set the timer. We're right at 12:31:92 or 12 minutes 32 seconds. And the Jetboil, if you remember, the Jetboil, if you remember, was right at 3 minutes 46 seconds. So that's about it for now. Just a quick little experiment, just to satisfy my own curiosity more than anything, just to see these two stoves kind of stacked up right next to each other. And just kind of also just realize the size of both these stoves, what they look like next to each other. They're actually pretty comparable in size comparing one to the other. I don't think there was any surprises on the boil time, of course. The Jetboil Flash was super fast at boiling water, right? The Jetboil Flash was 346 to boil these 2.5 cups of water, and the Solo Stove Lite with the alcohol burner was right at 12 minutes 31 seconds or 32 seconds. Until next time, enjoy your time outdoors.